Hello everybody, my name is Marga Sanz from Fox. I'm here at the British Museum in London with three of the main characters from Da Vinci's Demons. I'm here with Tom Riley, who plays Leonardo da Vinci. I'm here with Greg Chilling, who plays Zoroaster, Leonardo's best friend from childhood, and also with the one and only Eros Blahos, who plays Nico, who is Leonardo's young apprentice. Now, thank you very much, gentlemen, for being here with me. How are you today?
Good, thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Good. Yeah, we've just seen some of Leonardo's actual sketches in the British Museum, so incredible.
Good, amazing. Did you do a good job?
Yeah, it wasn't my best work. I mean, it was the stuff that I did when I was just woken up first thing in the morning. I'm usually better late.
I just want to remind you all at home watching this event live that you can still send us your last minute questions. I've got my iPad here, so you can tweet us on hashtag Hangout with Fox. Now, as you know, Da Vinci's Demons is a historical fantasy drama. Is based on the early 20s of Leonardo da Vinci in the 15th century in Florence, and it's a story that I think you will agree with me, it's got it all. It's got sex, it's got love, it's got intrigue, it's got scandals, it's got murders.
Eros Blahos.
It's got Eros Blahos.
It's got, it's got it all. So Fox is now going to premiere the second series, and you Fox fans around the world, check your local listings, because believe me, you do not want to miss this. It will start pretty much from the end of March, but yeah, just make sure, check local listings. And now, guys, please help me out here. Tom, season 1 finished with you helping out Lorenzo Medici.
Yes.
Right, to, in the middle of all the Patsy family conspiracy, but Lorenzo didn't seem very happy with you, did he?
No. So we left season 1 with Leonardo and Lorenzo in a bit of a tight spot, and we left a lot of threads. It was a bit of a cruel way to end the first season, and we're sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that.
We're not sorry. We pick up almost immediately where we left off. So obviously Lorenzo has just discovered that Leonardo and Lucretia are having an affair, or have been together. That Riario has a Renaissance bazooka and is blowing down the sacristy doors. And Lorenzo is bleeding potentially fatally from his neck. So, and then we just finished the season. So we'll pick up from there.
Quite high, yeah. Greg, Eros, do you keep being the loyal friends and followers of Leonardo? Your fans around the world, they just love it. They just can't wait to see what that loyalty, that devotion is going to take you on season 2. So is there anything that you can tell us about
Yeah, it's going to be tested. It's going to be tested to the limit.
It's going to be tested.
Yeah, there's kind of, we are very loyal to Sir Da Vinci, but this year, there's so much danger at stake, and I forget what we're allowed to say. We're allowed to say.
Well, just see what happens, and then if people behind the camera start going,
how much are we allowed to say? Is it like up to episode 5?
Don't do that. Just don't explain the plot.
Okay. Yeah, it's a lot more dicey with death, and obviously we're going off to a new world, and the friendship is, gets put through everything, and that's about it. I'm just terrified to say anything now, so we'll ruin everything.
Do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, well, I think we had a great base, last season of kind of how much we supported Da Vinci, and I think it was great to kind of have that excitement, but what's really great is kind of from the get-go of this season, that is completely changed. And Greg's right when he says it's tested, because it just kind of explodes into its own, and each character goes off on their own trajectory. So it's going to be interesting.
It's about time Leonardo's friends sort of got something back in, because he doesn't treat them the best.
He's too busy being a genius, isn't he?
It takes up a lot of
time for his friends.
That's what happens. Filippo from Florence actually tweeted, in the season 2 sneak peek, we see Leonardo becoming an adventurer ready to discover unexplored worlds. Where will his journeys take him now? Will they affect his genius? What can you tell us?
Well, this in season 2, I think right back in the second episode of season 1, we saw the Book of Leaves on the we didn't see the Book of Leaves. We saw pages from a book which had South America, which we now understand is South America, but at the time to Leonardo and everyone else is just an undiscovered continent, a mysterious continent. This season we are delivering on that promise, and we're going to head out to find this this mysterious land, which turns out to be Peru. Will it affect his genius? It will certainly. You know, everything he sees is drunk in, and then it pours back out as creativity or ideas or inventions. I think it's definitely going to change him as a man, because so far in season 1, the way he's behaved has affected his friends and affected the people around him. But this season, it's actually going to affect Leonardo himself. So we're going to see how that plays out. And
remind us just 1 second, what is exactly the Book of Leaves?
Well, what is it? I mean, indeed, that's the question. For Leonardo, it's the biggest mystery in his life. It's the biggest puzzle. For a man who lives by logic and science, it's the one thing he can't explain. A book that a magical book seemingly, that may or may not exist, that was told to him by a mysterious Turk who may or may not exist, that could be found in a country that may or may not exist on the other side of the world. So for him, it is the impossible puzzle.
And for Zoroaster, it's the biggest pain in the bottom imaginable.
Yeah.
Fun though.
Well, it's a struggle, isn't it? As you say, he's a man of reason and to believe in something that may not exist.
Yeah, he's determined to apply logic to it.
Yeah.
Right. Another one for you, Tom. Christina from Spain asked, I read in Fox TVS that this new season will be darker. What can you tell us about that in advance?
Well, I mean, that's something you say about sequels, isn't it? Really,
There's less lights.
It's always darker. It's grittier. There's less lights on.
Fires are off.
It will explore the consequences of their actions, and that will take a nasty turn for a lot of the characters. And some characters that perhaps you haven't seen as dark in the past are going to discover parts of themselves that they may not have been showing in the first season. Who could that be?
Eros, I've got a question for you from Vera in Portugal. Nico grew up through the first season, but what can we expect from him now? What can we expect from you?
Well, I think he just does more and more growing up, really. I think in the first season he was
more of that growing up.
Yeah, more of that. You know,
well, he did it so well the first time.
Yeah, you just thought, let's keep carry momentum.
Yeah.
He's still very innocent at the end of the first season, and I think also he's fiercely loyal to DaVinci, and I think what starts to happen is that really gets called into question for him, and also other characters come into play, and they start to influence him as well as DaVinci. So there becomes kind of questions about where his loyalty lies, and he just becomes more complex.
So are we going to be surprised by Nico this season?
We might be. Pleasantly, unpleasantly, I don't know.
Shocked and appalled.
Yeah. We might be disgusted by Nico this season.
No.
Can't be. Really?
No, I'm kidding.
Greg, Michelle from London wants to know, what do you love about your character in the first season of DaVinci's Demons, and what do you love about him now in this second season?
What do I love about him from season 1? Well, I quite like his kind of free spirit. He kind of eclipses that sort of period of time, kind of 15th century, rebellious, free-thinking, visceral Florence. So that's obviously fun to play. What I liked about season 2 is that we really explore that character, and interestingly, he sort of takes on a slightly different role, in the sense that season 1, he was, light relief, if you want to call it that, and season 2, he's you see a little bit more of his heart, and you sort of see his beliefs, and you really see things that get to him. And we've had some fun exploring that, haven't we?
Yeah, he still gets the best one-liners in the show, though.
I get a couple of good one-liners, which I have to say with a straight face.
Not easy.
Which is not easy.
Weird to listen to with a straight face, which is even harder.
It isn't easy.
No, and not just because I've got a wonky chin.
I mean, they're two quite different characters in a way, right? Leonardo and Zoroaster. I mean, how they become best friends?
Well, a lot of their connection, I think, is there are very few people who are prepared to tell Leonardo what's what and prepared to just say to him, look, shut up, you're being foolish, you're an idiot. Everyone else is slightly holds his genius in awe, and all the characters, whether they're in positions of authority, still have so much respect for what he can do that they don't call him up on his behaviour. Whereas Zoe is just completely unflustered by his genius, couldn't give a damn that he's the cleverest man in the world, just wants to get on and enjoy their friendship and what they're doing. So he's the one person who just calls him on it. And I think Leonardo needs him in his life for that reason.
Yeah, I think Zoe would just quite like to stay alive at bare minimum, you know, keep breathing is a sort of general rule.
Yeah. Keep breathing is kind of good.
It's a pretty good one for everyone. So, you know, listen at home.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
Harry has tweeted us from Bulgaria, and he's got a question for Tom. What is the most challenging thing that you've done for the new season of DaVinci's Demon?
The most challenging thing. Well, we spent a lot of time in the new world, so we have recreated one of the hottest countries in the world in one of the coldest. So we had to spend quite a lot of time in very little clothes, looking like we were sweaty and hot and trying to hide our cold breath. So that was pretty challenging stuff this season. And last year, it was the same, but a lot of shivering.
There's a lot of water this year.
Is that?
Lots of
wet season.
Yeah. I felt like we were having buckets of water poured over our heads sort of daily.
Did you?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Daily.
Yeah. That's a shower, Greg. You had a shower.
Yeah, shower.
And I got one for all guys. Nina Lace asks, do you watch the episodes when they are shown on TV? Do you watch yourself?
I don't, because I can't get it. But I get them on discs. And I
we've seen them beforehand. We during the season, the first season, I think everyone came over to mine for one app. But,
we did that.
But generally, Ed 5, I think. But generally, we by that time we've seen them, So it's a bit weird to watch it again. If it's on, I'll stick it on, but I'll go out the room.
It must be kind of weird, right, to look at yourself saying those things.
Always awful. Yeah, it's one of the worst things one has to sit through.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Do you do like you kind of say the lines at the same time as you are playing?
I put on my costume for
It's a good question.
No, it's like when you record your voice and you hear it back and you're like, oh, I don't sound like that, but everything. Yeah. You're like, my face doesn't look like that, does it? Have I got lumps there?
It really does. It does in real life. It really does.
Yeah. There's a kind of element when you're doing it, you kind of feel kind of cool. You don't feel like you, and then you watch it back and it's just you looking like a plonker. And just, it always surprises me that.
Tom, at Fangirl Quest asks, is there anything that
Fangirl Quest? I feel like I know them. They do a really clever thing. They do a thing with their iPads. Have you seen this?
When they go to the location?
Yeah, where they take a picture of a filming location and they put it on the iPad, and then they find where that location was and they put the iPad into the scene, and then they take a photo of that. It's really
from
cool.
The show. Yeah.
So anyway, what do they want to know?
Cool.
I've seen it online.
Well, she wants to know: is there anything that makes Leonardo speechless?
Speechless.
When Greg takes his top off.
Yes. Yeah, horrifying.
For the wrong reason,
makes him speechless. I would say this season we're going to see him knocked off his balance in a way, where he's going to a world that for the first time is a culture he doesn't understand in any way. It's not as comfortable as Florence. He's not the cleverest man in the room anymore. He doesn't necessarily speak the language. So he is, and then he is put through some tests, particularly in the middle of the season, where he sees things that change the way he sees the world. And so he will be knocked off his perch this season. And then you can take a photo of it, and then you can go to the location with your iPad and you can take another photo.
Greg, Eros, another thing that DaVinci's Demons fans are really keen on anecdotes from the set. Is there any stories that you are allowed us to tell us in this time of the day?
I'd like Eros to tell us his bucket story.
I've heard about this bucket story.
Let's
not set our expectations this high.
What is it?
When we were doing the stuff on the ships, we go on ships to obviously get to Peru, and the ship I'm on gets into a storm. So they were like, we're going to throw some water on you. As Greg was saying, it's very wet seasons. They were like, we're just going to throw some water on you. So we went into makeup. We normally in there for 2 hours having hair gel and makeup and mud and everything, and then they got us on set and said, okay, we're just going to do a quick test. So stand underneath it, and we'll start filling up. So all right, it started filling up, and I was just talking. I was thinking, okay, this is starting to take a while, this. How long is it going to fill up for?
How big is the bucket?
And then it came down, and there was about a minute solid of us just being drenched on the spot, like not even being able to breathe, and all the makeup, fake tan, just like running. The whole bottom of the ship was just like brown with like fake tan water, and we weren't even shooting. That was it. That was so they had to
rehearsal.
Do you have to go back to the truck?
Yeah, and then we had to do it again and again and again.
It looks good though.
That's so good. Looks really cool.
So who is the person everybody's scared of in the set? Who's the one who always
Scared
comes?
of?
I think who is the one who always comes up with the jokes or the pranks and the?
Well, the thing is, because it's such a kind of big cast, and we're all sort of get thrown together. Everyone sort of
Misbehaves.
takes turns. Yeah.
Lee Boardman is fun.
Lee Boardman, who plays a new character this season, Amerigo Vespucci, who is a childhood friend of Zoe's. Well, I say friend skeptically. Is that a word, skeptically?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I can't look at his face normally without smiling because he's got one of those faces. So let alone he's got some great lines in season 2. He's always a laugh, isn't he?
Yeah, he's great fun.
But we've got some other really cool characters this year. So.
What can you tell us about? Without giving too much away, is there anything that you can tell us about those new characters coming in?
No,
that's a no. That's a no.
I'll probably ruin something. So why don't you take the lead on that question? Because
well, we have some new Peruvian characters. We have Carolina Guerra from Colombia, who's playing Ima, who's the high priestess of the Incan people.
Sounds very high.
Yeah, and then back in Naples, and we have Kieran Bew, who's a fantastic actor, plays Alfonso, the Duke Alfonso of Naples, and he's a great bad guy and a great test for a few characters this series actually. So we've got some really good, exciting new people coming to shake things up, and the characters that already exist are all going to be thrown together in strange combinations anyway. So you're going to see people interacting that you wouldn't have seen interacting before.
Yeah, for example, I think even in the teaser you see, you see Zoe and Lucretia together, chained up. There's a lot of surprises like that, which adds to the mix this year.
Cannot wait. Cannot wait.
We'll send you a disc. It's fine.
Yes, please
do. Yeah.
A question just came now from. Apologies if I'm reading this wrong. This name is Sandy Sila from South Africa. Tom, your character just keeps getting better and better. How do you prepare for each episode?
Thank you. It's the luxury of being in a long-running TV series, and that you get the chance to develop a character over time, and as you learn more about the different facets of their personality, then the character grows and the audience can invest in them more. So often it feels like a characters are getting better and better simply because you're learning more about them and they're becoming richer. I prepare. I mean, the way I approach it generally is that I do as much research and prep as is humanly possible for every episode and every scene, and then I get to the set and throw it away, because you never know what's going to happen or what the other actor might want to do, and or how the director sees the scene. So as long as you've got that as a foundation, that's what I do. But thank you very much for saying that.
But I would like to know about you guys as well. How do you prepare your characters? It's such a...
It's rigorous.
Yeah, we play a lot of FIFA.
They do.
In our apartment. But me and Eros's apartment where we film in Swansea is sort of...
They don't share an apartment.
No, we don't.
We don't live together.
We don't live together, but we might as well do. We sort of plod along to each other's apartment in our pyjamas and play a lot of FIFA, which helps
that
relax
really
us
gets
for the
into the
next
character, I think. Yeah.
I get a really serious answer.
Yeah, you did. I'm not going to give a serious one. No, but for us, we had a lot of fun last year. This year we had masses of fun, didn't we?
Yeah.
And everyone knows each other. We all know the crew. Everyone gets on so well. It's just a lovely working environment. Preparation-wise, I'm winging it.
Doesn't even learn his lines. Just turns up the set, gets in costume.
Yeah.
And then just keeps rolling, right?
And just keep going, just see what happens.
Heroes. A few people have just asked about your relationship with Riario in this season. What can you tell us about that?
What can I tell?
The evil.
Well, yeah, I mean, you saw kind of how they interacted in the first season, a couple of meetings. So, I mean, it's an interesting situation that Nico and Riario get into. And what I was saying earlier about other influences to Nico, Riario becomes quite a strong influence in a sense that it's just them two together, kind of for a really intense sort of the whole voyage almost to the new world. So you don't necessarily know how much an influence he will have on Nico, but there's definitely something there, something brewing.
Well, the thing about Cambiario, he really believes in what he does, doesn't he? I mean,
of course, yeah.
It's not. He doesn't do it just gratuitous. He doesn't.
He doesn't. But that's the thing. That's why Leonardo and Riario tend to be a reflection of one another, because they're both on this single-minded quest. They both want the same thing, but their motivations for doing it are completely different. You know, Leonardo wants to share the information. Riario wants to use it for himself. But yes, they're all going to have to learn that if they want the same thing, they might have to team up to get it.
Ooh, interesting. Greg, Christina from Spain.
Hi, Christina.
Would you ever fall in love?
There you go. Christina.
Will I? Zoroaster?
Yeah.
No, you.
Me. I'll never fall in love. I'd like Zoe to fall in love. Maybe he does in season 2. He doesn't. I'd like that a lot. So David, if you're watching, think about it. That'd be great. I mean,
He's talking about David Goyer writing it. He's not proposing to something called David.
And David, if you're out there. Yeah, I mean, I think that would be a really interesting place to take the character and just to again reveal a side of him that we perhaps haven't seen seriously. You know, we see his sort of jokey, bantery side, but we haven't actually seen him fall hard in love with anyone, which would probably be quite interesting to see.
When it happens, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Strong, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I know that you mentioned David S. Goyer. I mean, how is it to work with such a
Fantastic
director? I mean,
yeah. I mean, he's a supremely talented guy. You know, it's an honor, isn't it?
He has this amazing knack when you're shooting a scene, and he'll come onto set and he'll drag in a prop to the back of the shot, and he'll just go, "Hey, you guys wouldn't mind? Can you just look at that at some point during the scene?" And you're kind of like, "What? Why? Okay." But then you kind of know, okay, all right, that must be something important. And then, sure enough, like 3 episodes down the line, like that thing is like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like, he just has this way of weaving things and coming in and like exploring a detail or saying, just throw a look to that thing, because it's all very foreshadowing.
Yeah. And he's obviously got so many other projects going on as well. How he has time, just Batman, Superman, and the movies he writes, and how he has time to maintain all that detail from our show as well as all the others in his head. I don't know how he remembers to eat.
Well, hopefully he does.
Yeah, because we need season 3.
We need him, yeah. Well, to all of you guys, Annabelle from Australia asks, can you describe the people next to you in a few words? What are they, as in, what are, not me, but what are they like off camera?
Terrible human beings, both of them.
Was that anything like that?
He said we were terrible human beings. He's telling the truth.
Really?
No, I mean, we're lucky. We have a really, it's such a stock phrase, and people, in press interviews must get very sick of actors going, oh, they're such a lovely bunch, and we all get on so well. But we're really lucky. It's nice to make friends on a job, actual friends that you want to see outside of work, and so we hang out a lot in between seasons, don't we?
Yeah,
it's nice.
They're both very nice, really. Very nice young men.
Eros is a lot bigger in real life.
Yeah, he's 6'4".
6'4".
Just because I'm sat down. Yeah. I'm actually on a smaller chair.
We have to dig a ditch for him on set to stand in.
Yeah.
So because he's growing so quickly, and we didn't predict it.
I think we should give a couple of words for each person. I think that's a good. No, it's a good question. I think we should honour that.
Go on, then.
My brothers.
Wow.
Check that out.
Wow. Go on, you go.
No, you.
I know, but it's tricky. It is a tricky one.
You post it.
I know. Scrap it. We'll scrap it.
You?
No, I'm going with his scrapping.
All right then.
I'm not scrapping.
Mila says, great series, guys. Looking forward to seeing series 2. Do we get to see more of Lucretia?
Yes. Lucretia is very, very important in season 2 in that she is. The show splits, and we see the characters in various different geographical locations and different emotional locations. And Lucretia is kind of the glue that holds it all together. Her storyline is from season 1 that we finally got an inkling at the beginning of season 1. We will see so much more of in season 2. We'll find out who she is, why she's doing what she's doing, and find out some horrific things from her past that drives her. And she's always, even though Leonardo and Lucretia will be miles apart, they're always in each other's heads, not least because they're very similar characters. Leonardo, they're both on quests, single-minded quests that they believe is more important than anything else. They're both leaving collateral damage behind them in their wake. So
Lucretia and Leonardo.
Yeah, so they're both, they stay in one another's heads from across the Atlantic.
That sounds amazing. Amazing.
Thanks.
I like that.
Yeah.
Dalmon Moratti asks, do we get to see more crazy inventions in series 2? Is there anything that you're allowed to tell us at this stage?
Yeah, I think
Definitely more.
Yeah,
I can see the heads going.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
At 2 thing, can we say?
Which one at 2?
Evo. With our friends.
Yeah, that's 3.
Oh, that's 3.
But I think we can, yeah. I think you'll see Leonardo. Yeah, you've seen it in the trailer. You'll see Leonardo's submarine this year, and which is something he genuinely designed. And our props guys are unbelievable. Actually, they put these things together. And every time you think you've seen your favourite invention on set, you go the next day and they've built something else, and they work a lot of the time. I mean, I wouldn't take the submarine to sea, but they work. Yeah. Things like the scuba suit from season 1, which I remember a lot of people were watching. Oh, that's just ridiculous. I mean, that existed, and we saw it in a museum in Vinci, and people have tested it, and it works. It's extraordinary that a man from that long ago was creating things that wouldn't be actually realised for hundreds of years.
And I heard that they even say that he even thought of things that they are not yet created, but they will be.
Oh, I mean, the iPad. He was behind.
Yeah.
No, there's 4,000 pages of his notebook missing, so who knows what else he may have thought of. And that's something we do. We speculate more and more about in season 2 is, well, what if he invented this?
Right.
What if he had an early idea of this? And what if he discovered, in season 1, for example, he works out continental drift by seeing eggs break. And he wasn't the man to discover continental drift. But there are so many things he could have discovered and then lost to history that we play with that, and we play with that again in season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Jorge, for everyone, Jorge for Portugal, are there any traits in your characters sorry, Jorge. Are there any traits in your character that you identify yourself with? I mean, is there anything in common with you and your characters?
With our characters?
You're a lot like Zoe.
Yeah, I mean, I like to have a good time every now and then. Have a party. Who doesn't like a party?
Who doesn't like a party, guys? Don't laugh at him.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm reveling in him.
Are you like Leonardo?
No, I mean, it would be hard for any actor to say they were anything like Leonardo. There's apart from Greg could play him.
Thank you very much.
Very similar, as you've said at Comic-Con, but but it's I mean, the struggle for perfectionism, that kind of desire, the feeling that you've never got anything right, and that kind of stuff. The more human aspects of him are similar, I guess. Eros?
I shouldn't enjoy leather trousers, but they're good. They're quite comfy.
You do like your leather trousers?
I do like them. They're good. Leather trousers.
And I'm your mentor in real life.
Yes,
as
of
well.
course.
Yeah.
Of course. Greg is not.
No. It's just the screen.
But what about, do you have anything in common with Nico? Nico Machiavelli?
I guess I'm quite excitable by cool inventions. Yeah. I don't know, because Nico's always excited by what DaVinci's inventing, and I guess I'm pretty excited by what Tom invents. His macaroni paintings that he gives me, brings home from school.
Yeah.
I would like to see that.
Yeah.
I bet everybody.
They're really good. They're all of himself.
They're all in Eros' apartment frame. So
Nina, what was the funniest thing that happened to you shooting season 2?
Oh, that was from Nina.
From Nina.
Funniest thing I was just shooting season 2.
Funniest. Funniest.
I think, oh, they.
Lots of funny things happen daily, but what was a?
It's always tough when you're trying to think of an anecdote and you start telling it and then you realise halfway through it's not funny and you have to finish it.
I had one line which I can't repeat because it's so rude that I just couldn't remember it, and then I just couldn't stop laughing at it, and that was very difficult because we were like pushed for time, we were losing light, and we just had to. I had one. It was like a 4-page scene. I had one line that I have to say, and I just. Every time it went to it, I just couldn't remember it.
Too much.
And if I did, it'd be a kind of a weird, sort of rude version of it. I mean, it was a rude line anyway, but do you remember that?
Yeah. Better reshoot that entire scene. But there are moments like that, like when losing it on set, laughing is just the worst.
Yeah.
Because there will always be producers standing around who are angry that you're not moving, and that makes it funnier.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing, and that you know you can't laugh, but you just.
That's the worst. That's when you.
It's actually it gets unpleasant. Like you try knowing you can't laugh.
You have to think of really bad thoughts to try and calm yourself down.
Even those become funny at those times, don't
Well,
they?
yeah.
Well, we're kind of running out of time, but I like this question, so I'm going to ask it. A few people are asking about the amazing costumes, and all leather, right? So, are they uncomfortable? Do you have to be there inside them for a long time?
Surprisingly, no.
No.
How long does
actually.
it get to get you ready? How long does it take you to get?
We're pretty quick now.
Yeah.
We're so
About
used to
2
our
minutes,
costumes
a
that we
minute.
just roll up really late and just throw them on. But
You actually went to Starbucks in your costume once, didn't you?
yeah, people thought I was a cheap Jack Sparrow impersonator. I had no choice. I really needed a coffee.
Fair enough.
You know, and there was one just around the corner from the set, so it was a case of I've got this time, I should run out and back in. I wasn't, to be fair, I wasn't expecting to jump out the car. I thought we'd have to go in. I had to go in and get it.
No, they are very practical. They're fantastic, but they are very practical. But as again, we've been putting them on for about 12 months all in all now, so it's like getting dressed in the morning.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you very much. Thank you, Leonardo. No. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Greg. And thank you, everybody, for the amazing questions. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.